Yeah, a sequence, that's all it is. It's a specific pattern. And we're going to do, and actually, that would be, what's date? 12/3. Yeah, it's just a list of numbers in a specific order. And sequences, the ones we're going to talk about today and work with on the next couple days, actually we're
Our pack's different than yours.
I know, because remember I said I can't run a copier and I put day 2 and
Sorry,
on top.
I'm not.
It's okay. It's all right. You're all good. Do you need somebody to go with you? You shouldn't have to pass out. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Here. Okay, so sequences, the first part of sequences were discovered like in the 18th century by a guy named Carl Gauss, and he actually ended up becoming a very famous mathematician, but he was 7 years old when he discovered this pattern and like proved it to the mathematical world, which kind of is mind-blowing to me that a kid 7 years old can make a mathematical discovery. And sequences are something you guys use, you don't even realize it. It's just part of your natural thought process. And so we're going to talk about the more formalized part of it. But companies use it all the time in like determining how much product they're going to need. So like at my restaurant, we do an item report every week. It says, okay, we sold this many burgers and we sold this many this. And then I made up like a little algorithm so that it takes it and kind of averages it out so that we know how much to prep so that we don't run out of stuff. If it's something like, if you're into coding, you know JavaScript is? Java's the stuff that makes the pretty pictures. Sequences is a fundamental principle of JavaScript. So coders use it all the time when they're writing JavaScript. So, all right. So each number in the list is called a term. Start off with some vocab. The ordered list in which the difference between each number and the one before it, if it's constant, then it's an arithmetic sequence. Okay? And that's the one we're going to talk about for the next couple days. The other type is called geometric. But we're going to spend the next day or two on the arithmetic. So the first thing to see if it is to look for what's called the common difference. Okay? And we use the abbreviation of D for it. Poor Corey, you don't look awake at all. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so to tell if a sequence is an arithmetic one, we basically have to see if there's a common difference. So you look at the first two terms and you say, okay, well 9 minus 4 equals 5. And then you look at the next two terms. 14 minus 9 is 5. And then you go to the next two. 19 minus 14 gives me 5. And then 24 minus 19 gives me 5. Sorry, move that up. Okay. So we have a common difference. Okay. We have a common difference of 5 because it's the same every single time. And so therefore, it is an arithmetic sequence. Okay. Now on the next one, if I go 45 minus 48, that gives me negative 3. And then if I look at the next two, I have 42 minus 45, and that gives me a negative 3. Am I gonna find a common difference, you think? So 39 minus 42, that also is negative 3. So yeah, I do have a common difference. And so it is, yeah.
So for the first one, like, you flipped to like 9 and 4, so why wouldn't you flip to the second one? So it wouldn't be positive 3. 'Cause the
9
first one
minus
is
4 is 5.
Oh,
No, I'm just literally doing straight subtraction. Okay? So what did I do to 4 to get to 9? I added 5. So to look for the common difference, I take the second number or the one behind it and subtract the one in front of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then since it's 48 or 45 minus the 48, that gives me a negative 3. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so if we want to find the terms in a sequence, it's easy because all we need to do is find what our common difference is. So for this first one, I'm going to say, okay, well, 5 minus 2, that gives me 3, right? 8 minus 5 gives me 3. 11 minus 8 gives me 3. What do you think my common difference is going to be?
3.
Yeah, it's going to be 3. Okay, so use that to find the next 3 terms. So if I have 14, 14 plus 3 gives me 17. 17 plus 3 is going to give me 20. And 20 plus 3 is going to give me 23. Good. Okay, so what's going to be my common difference for the next one? What'd you guys say? Negative 6, yeah, because 10 minus 16 is negative 6. 4 minus 10 gives me negative 6. So that means that negative 2 minus 6 gives me negative 8. Negative 8 minus 6 gives me negative 14. Negative 14 minus 6 gives me negative 20. Easy peasy. Okay. Then. Okay, so sometimes your sequences aren't quite that easy. And basically, it's, my elf's in the way. One of those, especially like if you're writing coding or something like that, it's not usually just like, hey, here's 3 terms, what's the next term? It's usually, okay, I want this term to be for the 2000s one, because you need it to go forecast out. All good? Good. Okay, but that's easy enough. We can find that. So, or if we don't know what the sequence is, but we only have information about it, they've actually helped us with a formula to use it, okay? So first, we got to talk about a little more vocabulary. Each term is called A, or I guess represented by A, okay? And the number is the place in the term, or in the series. Okay? So that means that A to the first one is going to be my first term. That makes sense? A2 is then going to be the second term. And then a to the n, okay, that represents the nth term. Okay, that means we don't know exactly, it could be any number. It could be any position in it. It could be a to the 216th, it could be a 400th place. It's just any place within the sequence, okay? And if we need to find out what it is, then we use this formula. So it's a to the n is equal to a to of the first, so the first position, plus n minus 1, and then we times that. Wait, marker's not working well. Then we times that by the common difference. Okay? Good? All right, so to use that, it'll actually generate and tell you, hey, this number, this position is this number. Okay, so we need to find three things. We need to find a to the first, which in this sequence, it's 4. Okay, then we need to find the common difference. Well, 10 minus 4 gives me 6. 16 minus 10 gives me 6. So my common difference is going to be 6. Okay, are we good on that? What was that? Light bulb? Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is say, well, hey, a to the nth term is going to be equal to 4, because that's my first term, plus n minus 1 times my common difference of 6. Okay, so that becomes my formula. Okay, so pick a number. What term do we want to find? 56. Because if I added 6 to 22, I would have to do that 54 more times? Takes too long. So let's find a to the 56. So that means my n now is 56. So a to the 56 is going to be 4 plus 56 minus 1 times 6. And she picked a number I don't want to have to do in my head. So I'm going to have 4 plus 55 times 6, which 55 times 6 gives me 330. So I'm going to have 4 plus 330. So my 56th position is going to be 334. Easy peasy? Yeah.
So it's just any number, like just choose any number.
Yeah, and it will, this formula here will give you any number that you want in the term. Because like I said, if I wrote out all the things, it would take forever. And so this formula just gives you for any specific term that you want. So like on the next one, we only want the 11th term. Okay, so if I have, 1, 5, 9, 13, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This one's not too bad. What's my common difference? Well, 5 minus 1 gives me 4. 9 minus 5 gives me 4. So my common difference is going to be 4. Do we agree with that one? So I could sit there and say, well, 13 plus 4, 17 plus 4 is that's going to take too long. Agreed? So if I use this formula, that means that I have d to 4. I'm looking for my 11th term. And I know that my first term is 1. So I can use my formula to say, well, hey, the 11th term is going to be my first term plus 11 minus 1 times my difference of 4, which gives me 1 plus 10 times 4. So that means the 11th term is going to be 41. And that's a lot quicker than doing that. Agreed? Alrighty, easy peasy. You got 3 practice problems for you to... What's wrong, Roy? Okay. Question?
Is that a 10 times 4?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was 100.
Oh, I got you. No, I did. So 10 times 4. Okay? All right. So plenty of time left to do the 3 problems. Check grade book, progress book, whatever it's called. See if you're missing anything. See if there is a specific time that, or something you want to make up or retake or whatever. And then you can get with me and we'll figure out schedules to get everything caught up and made up. Sound like a deal? Yes? Good? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Life is good?